win #1 in conference play of the season. He has 9 victories with the Black Bears overall. The tip is won by the Bears, and we are underway.
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy game for Maine tonight, that's for sure. Mass Lowell is the #1 scoring team in the conference. They're averaging about 75 points a game. Maine's going to have to play some pretty tough team defense here.
We talked about forced turnovers. Maine already with 1 turnover. Giveaway. This time it's a defensive rebound, so now they get another opportunity.
Pretty tough team defense here.
We talked about forced turnovers. Maine already with 1 turnover. Giveaway. This time it's a defensive rebound, so now they get another opportunity to see if they can make some points as it's still scoreless after 30 seconds plus off the board. Black Bears swing the ball around the perimeter. Darwich with it. Now to Steamer making another start, the true freshman. Darwich now being guarded closely by #3, Jordan Owens. Pull-up jumper on the baseline is good, and the Black Bears take an early 2-point lead.
Yes, there. It'll be interesting to see if Sergio can do that most of the evening against his defender, which is Owens, Jordan Owens.
Speaking of Owens, he has the ball. Good dribble move, gets past Darwich. Swing it around to Lutete. That's a man who can score in bunches. Black Bears double teaming him, and that's going to be a step out of bounds on the sideline. The Black Bears did put up a pretty prolific 85 and 89 record as the head coach of the women's team over those years.
And that's exactly what Maine's got to do this evening, to have a chance here against this Mass Lowell high-scoring team, because they had a nice defensive trap over there in the corner, forced them to turn it over.
Darwich driving in, looking for his second bucket. That one's going to be off the side of the backboard. An easy rebound for the Riverhawks.
Turn it over.
Darwich driving in, looking for his second bucket. That one's going to be off the side of the backboard. An easy rebound for the Riverhawks. See the starting lineups for the Riverhawks after this one off the window and in. There's Connor Withers off the window and in. There's Connor Withers as he's joined by Jordan Owens, Obadiah Noel, Josh Gantz, and also Christian Letete. Who's rocking number 23. Black Bears will have this starting 5. We mentioned Peter Steamer out there, Nasia Pirjovic, Andrew Fleming, Sergio Darwich, and Vilgot Larson. Larson, by the way, Sandy, he's got a little bit new hardware on his right arm. Used to be a little soft cast. They work it down into Fleming. Little baby hook is good. The Black Bears back on top once more. Nasia Pirjovic, Andrew Fleming, Sergio Darwich, and Vilgot Larson. Larson, by the way,
teeth as well. When they were out there in Hawaii, I think he took an elbow or something to the teeth, to his face, and had to get some teeth removed and some new ones put in.
It's been a rough last month or so in terms of actual daytime.
Some new ones put in.
It's been a rough last month or so in terms of actual daytime. Another steal for the Black Bears. Fleming dishes it off. That one fed to Larson, and another bucket for the Bears. Well, Sandy has the early stages. Let's go into the keys to victory first for the visiting Riverhawks.
Yeah, for Umass Lowell, they've got to limit Maine's options. In other words, they've got to contain Fleming and Sergio Darwich, put ball pressure on Sergio, especially out front. They've got to attack off the struggles, as we saw on the defensive slide there, that they struggle defending with their feet moving, and they've got to get to the line. And they're 72% from the free throw line. They can score from there. From Maine's got to play, as we've already talked about already in this session, is they've got to play really, really, really good team defense, which they have been doing the last couple of times down.
Larson thought about the three-pointer. Black Bears up by 1 point. Shot clock has dwindled down to 3 seconds. Black Bears don't realize it. It's going to be a violation. That one's going to miss everything.
And a couple of the basketball. Right now they're averaging 16.1 turnovers per game, and the most in the America East. And then they've got to box out. Maine's got to do a good job of rebounding against this team to limit them to 1 shot.
Already a handful of turnovers for the Black Bears now, too. And this one off the glass and in for Josh Gantz's contest. It's a winnable game for both teams. Black Bears again winless in conference play through 3 efforts. Pull-up jumper is down and through for Darwich, who now has 4 season. It's a little jaunt up from Upper Massachusetts to Bangor, Maine. This one deflected. Lutete gets it back, drives into a sea of Black Bears.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a winnable game for either team. And I know the Maine
2 ranks back in 1988, but again, a little bit different animal once you reach the Division I level. But they're a team that's on the rise for sure. Right now in 4th place with that 2-1 record all by themselves, just trailing a couple unbeaten teams. A little collision underneath the basket. Steamer gets the worst of it.
Yeah, and that continues to happen defensively for Maine, as we spoke about earlier. They overplay and overcommit sometimes in the passing lanes or even on another player and end up having a player end up behind them, and you can never get another player behind you. It's going to be an easy score.
Seemingly the Black Bears are implementing a little bit different style of a defense than we've seen before. It's a play by this Riverhawks side.
Well, they're such a high-powered scoring team, Umass Lowell, that they've got to make sure that they don't get good looks. And if you're double teaming and trapping, they're not going to get good looks.
The long outstretch of play by this Riverhawks side.
Well, they're such a high-powered scoring team, Umass Lowell, that they've got to make sure that they don't get good looks. And if you're double teaming and trapping, they're not going to get good looks.
The long outstretched arm of Andrew Fleming knocks it to Pirjevich. He goes in. That one's going to be blocked and deflected. It gets somehow back. The stretched arm of Andrew Fleming knocks it to Pirjevich. He goes in. That one's going to be blocked and deflected. It gets somehow back. The stretched arm of Andrew Fleming knocks it to Pirjevich. He goes in. That one's going to be blocked and deflected. It gets somehow back to Fleming. That one's a little too high off the glass. Black Bears a little out of Fleming, knocks it to Pirjevich. He goes in. That one's going to be blocked and deflected. It gets somehow back to Fleming. That one's a little too high off the glass. Black Bears a little out of sorts there after the block from Obadiah Noel.
Yeah, Fleming probably should have caught that, come back down with it, and gone back up.
Swing it around. It's a Lutete 3, and that one is cash.
And again, on transition defense, and they all just put into the lane, and there wasn't anybody outside on the wing, and they didn't recognize where the shooter was on the outside of that.
Second lead change already. Another deflection in the lane will stay with the Black Bears with 14:48.
Allen University on November 8th, and he's averaging 20.4 points per game right now. So again, Maine's got to know where he is all the time. But they've got 3 players who are scoring double digits. So you've got to play team defense. You've got to know where they all are, and you can't overplay certain players because there's 2 or 3 others who can score on you.
Black Bears have just 4 seconds left on the clock. Darwich realizes this one, shoots it short. It's going to be out of bounds, and it will be last touched by Maine. As he does lead the America East right now, as we talked about in the pregame. All-academic team last year and already a preseason first-team selection.
Yeah, and he's a battle. He has 7 points.
In the pregame. All-academic team last year and already a preseason first-team selection.
Yeah, and he's a battle. He has 7.6 rebounds a game. He's had 3 double-doubles so far this season. He had 28 points in his last, shooting 53% from the floor, 40% from 3, and 71%. Very rarely do you see those kind of shooting percentages.
And this one will go down after a little bit more of an adventure. This time they'll pick up the pressure and man-to-man defense, switching it up here this time in the half court. Be another foul. This one's going to be, I think it's going to be to our left. 21 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounds it to Jordan Owens, who's being guarded by Darwich. Black Bears come out with a double team on the switch. They swing it around quickly. Noel drives in, then feeds it off to his teammate, gets it fed back, had a wide open jumper, instead gets it for the 3-point attempt for Owens, and he'll miss that. Black Bears will battle on the defensive glass and pull that one down by happenstance almost as Wright McLeish comes out with it.
Yeah, Maine recovered very well defensively on that set.
Oh, good pass from the top of the key, and it's rewarded with a Larson bucket. It's a great feed.
Some mismatches there with that high-low look.
Maine back on top, 11-10 the score. Tete drives, dishes back out. Withers thought about a 3, instead drives in. Well with a pump fake. Seems like the Riverhawks are reluctant to take those 3-point shots with decent looks. This one the up and under, and it will be 2 free throws as that one hangs up but drops out. The least fouled team in the America East Conference during the out-of-conference schedule, but since some
settles for the 3-point shot anymore. The dribble attacking the basket, which has a tendency settles for the 3-point shot anymore. The dribble attacking the basket, which has a tendency to get you fouled a little bit more when you get in that lane.
Well, now back up to a tie after going 1 for 2 from the stripe. Now Fleming with the ball, looking for some help. He's going to put the ball on the ground. He finally does. To Wright McLeish for 3. That one's going to be just off. Rebounds picked up by Noel, who's working quickly down the court. He's going to put the ball on the ground. He finally does. To Wright McLeish for 3. That one's going to be just off. Rebounds picked up by Noel, who's working quickly down the court. Good dribble move, though it's off the knee of Vilgot Larson, and there'll be a little souvenir for one of the fans.
Or somebody doesn't try to shoot it at some point from the sideline.
Well, I was surprised you didn't
It's tempting.
last year.
It's tempting.
Drive in. This one's almost uncontested. Made it a little harder, did Owens, and he misses the bucket
It's tempting.
last year.
It's tempting.
Drive in. This one's almost uncontested. Made it a little harder, did Owens, and he misses the bucket in the lane. Now Wright McLeish going at some pace, a little too hard, but bailed out by Vilgot Larson once more for yet Owens, and he misses the bucket in the lane. Now Wright McLeish going at some pace, a little too hard, but bailed out by Vilgot Larson once more for yet
Vilgot, but that's just a great hard take by Wright McLeish.
Black Bears retake the lead by 2. Lowell now on the foul line extended, double team, back out. Owens will find Withers. Back to Noel with 13 on the shot clock. Pulls up for a fadeaway jumper at the free throw stripe. Will not go. No collision, but Prijovic comes out with it. Noel with 13 on the shot clock. Pulls up for a fadeaway jumper at the free throw stripe. Will not go. No collision, but Prijovic comes out with it. Here's the lob in. Fleming almost tips it in volleyball style. Again, reckless with the Black Bears. Prijovic comes out with it. Here's the lob in. Fleming almost tips it in volleyball style. Again, reckless with the Black Bears moving in pace. Oh, beautiful feed to Withers, and Prijovic does the smart thing, at least trying to make sure that
people can win those kind of games. So, in both the women's and the men's in the America East. So, this is a team to score and play steady as they have been.
2 for 2 this time from the stripe for Withers. Helps out the free throw percentage there, now with 4 total points. They're 3 for 4 so far on the night. Stefan Ingo in the contest for the Black Bears. Alan Blunt in there, along with number 0, Ron Mitchell. A couple substitutions on both sides. Black Bears trying to work it underneath. It's taken away right into the possession of Blunt, trying to feed it to Fleming.
Yeah, and that's one of those unforced turnovers that Maine has just been struggling with all season long.
There'll be an offensive foul called on number 11.
Mass Lowell 6-5 and outscoring them in the paint 10-4.
Ingo feeding it underneath. Now it's a three-point attempt from Wright McLeish, and that one's nothing but nylon on its way down through.
He can get into the kind of the groove of the kind of game he can play, which he hasn't had a whole lot of minutes off the bench, but I think he could be an extra bonus for this Maine Black Bear team.
He's now up to 4 points after that trifecta, then an off-the-ball foul tonight.
Well, I definitely think that's not his shot, but he is a dribble driver, as we saw previously when he took it hard to the rim. But I think he's an 8 to 10 foot jump shooter. Definitely not a three-point threat.
Noel can't get that one to drop. Prijovic with an easy rebound on the left block as he crosses the half-court stripe, and the handoff now swung around to Fleming. 10:52 left on the first half clock. Prijovic will take the three-point shot. He's been feeling it a little bit more recently in terms of the scoring touch, but unable to get that one. 10:52 left on the first half clock. Prijovic will take the three-point shot. He's been feeling it a little bit more recently in terms of the scoring touch, but unable to get that one. 10:52 left on the first half clock. Prijovic will take the three-point shot. He's been feeling it a little bit more recently in terms of the scoring touch, but unable to get that one. Black Bears reset, trying to feed it inside. Blunt comes out with that one. Outletted to Black Bears reset, trying to feed it inside. Blunt comes out with that one. Outletted to Noel, trying to go all the way through. A couple Black Bears count it and one. What an athletic move by Obed.
Noel's really stepped up his game in this from last year. He has really been playing well.
Back up to 16 all with 10:30 left on the first half clock.
And Noel's another one who's shooting 50% from the floor and 45% from three.
The two players we highlighted, Lutete's been relatively quiet, actually not even out on the court right now. Getting some rest, some well-deserved rest after the season he's had so far. 8 seconds of the shot clock, the up and under, what a move from Sergio Darwich, going from left to right for the finish.
And he dribble attacks the rim. He can score at will on anybody.
Darwish now with 6 points to join his teammate Vilgot Larson with the top spot for the Bears at 6. Three-point attempt from the top, in and out, rebound to Fleming. Vilgot Larson with the top spot for the Bears at 6. Three-point attempt from the top, in and out, rebound to Fleming. Good idea there by Josh Gantz, but did not fall for him. Then a foul will be called. Black Bears will send Sergio Darwich
quite easily. He gets in a groove and he does exactly that.
But we'll miss the second. Rebound by Lutete, who just checked in.
Sergio was shooting 80% from the free throw line.
Well, dish off, finds Blunt, reverse layup, and he beats Ingo to the block.
Yeah, that's just a great assist, and that's why this Mass Lowell team is just a great assist team, great passing team. But once again, Maine allows an offensive player to slip behind them, and they've got to be aware of where that cutter is.
Black Bears right now scoring with the top team in offense in this America East Conference.
Yeah, and if that is a technical foul on the bench or on an assistant coach, that's not maintaining control and getting a technical on the bench. Not quite sure.
Contest.
And Maine has to take advantage of things like this. It's always a big motivator to see the other team get some technicals, especially the coach.
They find Larson, the shot is short. Offensive rebound, putback is no good. Second, third chance opportunities will not be there because it'll be a foul, I believe, on Ingo under contest.
And Maine has to take advantage of things like this. It's always a big motivator to see the other team get some technicals, especially the coach.
They find Larson, the shot is short. Offensive rebound, putback is no good. Second, third chance opportunities will not be there because it'll be a foul, I believe, on Ingo under contest.
And Maine has to take advantage of things like this. It's always a big motivator to see the other team get some technicals, especially the coach.
They find Larson, the shot is short. Offensive rebound, putback is no good. Second, third chance opportunities will not be there because it'll be a foul, I believe, on Ingo under.
Especially the coach.
They find Larson, the shot is short. Offensive rebound, putback is no good. Second, third chance opportunities will not be there because it'll be a foul, I believe, on Ingo underneath. 1-1 after that foul. That one's going to be right through for Gantz.
Well, free throw percentage, they're number 3 in the conference at 71.
Right now, the midst of Gantz. Back to a 1-point game. Just over 9 to play in the first half. Ingo trying to feed it underneath, but ill-advised trying to find Antoms. Instead, it's a takeaway. Now Rob Mitchell with it.
And that's just good defense on UMass Lowell post player. He released at exactly the right time. There was physical contact, which is what the offensive post player wants to do, is create contact. But he needs to be the one to release before the defensive player. He released at exactly the right time. There was physical contact, which is what the offensive post player wants to do, is create contact. But he needs to be the one to release before the defensive player releases.
Steamer gets the defensive rebound. The dunk is going to be blocked, but also a foul will be called underneath. I believe they're going
to joke about that. They're a nice men's basketball team. So again, Stephon Ingo is
season playing the first one, second one a little bit better for the Bears.
And Stephon knows
Made for the Bears.
And a couple of these players also played at Lee Academy under the men's assistant coach here at Maine, Coach Igor. So again, some familiarity with the state of Maine.
Up and under. That one is going to be good for 2. Allen tied up at 22 aside with 8:27 left to go on the first half clock. Made swings it around to El Darwich, trying to feed it underneath, and the Black Bears just not getting that open look at the block that they're hoping. Yeah, they have some athletes on this team for the Riverhawks, that's for sure. Across the board. Steamer, not about a deep 3, being guarded by Lutete. Instead gets it over to Larson. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Black Bears dwindling all the time down off that clock once more. Fadeaway jumper for a deep 2. Won't draw for El Darwich. Looked like he might have a chance. Time down off that clock once more. Fadeaway jumper for a deep 2. Won't draw for El Darwich. Looked like he might have a chance. Umass Lowell now an opportunity to retake the lead once more, and that's exactly the case as Mitchell gets that one.
Player to dribble from one baseline to the other baseline and score a layup like that. Maine's got to get back in good transition defense.
Made swings it around to Steamer. Now they work it into the forward, Larson. He backs down. He's got a height advantage, but can't get the little baby hook to drop. Lutete comes out with it. 2-on-2. Now they work it into the forward, Larson. He backs down. He's got a height advantage, but can't get the little baby hook to drop. Lutete comes out with it. 2-on-2. Goes right at Fleming and beats him to the left block. 4-point lead for the Riverhawks. That's their largest so far of the night. Exactly what you didn't want to see if you're a Black Bear fan. And then there's going to be a blocking foul called on Gantz.
How to take it to people. Mass Lowell seems to have that understanding because they've
from London, England. Got to be a little bit of a culture change. I know they speak English over in the British Isles, but still being over in London a couple times myself, a much different atmosphere. The cuisine much different as well.
A little bit more laid back, I think.
A lot more fish, though I think Maine would be pretty comparable to that. Three-pointer in and out from Lutete. He hasn't really been having the scoring touch he's been looking for enough.
A bit more laid back, I think.
A lot more fish, though I think Maine would be pretty comparable to that. Three-pointer in and out from Lutete. He hasn't really been having the scoring touch he's been looking for enough for Blunt. Free throw is up, it's missed. And a rare miss from shooting free throws.
Umass just went up for that, and that's one thing he can give to these Black Bears when he's healthy. He's got a bad knee there, but he can rebound well.
Misha Yagodin in the contest, by the way, from the Black Bears after the last timeout. He has the ball back to Steamer, the freshman. So working into Umass. Now to Fleming, captain, the senior, and he hits the three. Point deficit at the last break. They're now on top by 1.
And that's what Maine's got to do. They've got to take their time. They've got to be patient on offense, get the ball in the hands of the scorers.
Off touch from three-point land, including that buzzer beater versus Columbia in the last out-of-conference game. That got number 3 in the top 10 on SportsCenter.
He's been in a couple of top 10s, I think, this year, hasn't he, for ESPN?
Well, he got that one, and then actually against this opponent last year.
That's true.
He made SportsCenter on his own right, not even just top 10. This one up and through for El Darwich. I don't think I could shoot uncontested and make 18 out of 20 shots, let alone going against a very good opponent in Umass Lowell.
And you also know that every team's going to key on Andrew Fleming, so probably made most of those baskets with double teamed.
Backcourt pressure, it's broken. Three-pointer on its way, and that one is good for Connor Withers. And we are...
Yeah, he's a 49% three-point shooter. You got to know where he is on that press.
Yagodin answering back. Yes! Three-pointer back for the Bears. Maine on tight 3.
And that's exactly what Yagodin can do for Maine as well. When he's a streaky shooter, but when he's on, he's deadly.
Back and forth, a seesaw battle in the truest sense of the word. Now a three-pointer the other way. That one just missed by Lutete. Yagodin comes out with it, but his pocket. Back and forth, a seesaw battle in the truest sense of the word. Now a three-pointer the other way. That one just missed by Lutete. Yagodin comes out with it, but his pocket will be picked. They try to feed it to Noel, but that's in the cheer section. That one just missed by Lutete. Yagodin comes out with it, but his pocket will be picked. They try to feed it to Noel, but that's in the cheer section.
That's good hustle, too, on Umass.
Bears with the ball back with a three-point advantage with 5:15 left to go in the first half. Fleming looking to try to find it underneath El Darwich, who's working. He's got some size advantage. Instead, get it back around. Black Bears work it in. They get it to Fleming, and that is going to be a foul called, much to the dismay of the Umass 1-on-1. And that's going to be an easy rebound for them underneath with 4 blue jerseys in the vicinity.
Well, unfortunately, with teams with rebounding offensively on a free throw, is lots of times there seems to be a lot of fouls on those kind of things, and I'm sure that with the way that Umass...
He's taking his time at the line, but it proves effective as he gets that.
Now, Umass 72% from the free throw line, but they're 81% in the America East games.
They have been so good in conference play. Well, Maine struggled a little bit. This will be a foul, little stumble from Steamer as he goes. Steamer at the line. Hailing from Sweden, his father played college basketball. 8 players from UMaine now with points after that first free throw goes down through. Second one does not. Rebounds out to Withers. Now Umass Lowell trying to retake the lead.
Well, it's good to see Maine with a good balanced attack offensively, but they have all...
Though he's clapping now, being more encouraging, but he's already gotten, I think, a technical.
Well, this is the first of 3 games in a row on the road for Mass Lowell, so he's got to kind of expect that sometimes in the America East on the road.
Little contact there, but not enough to warrant a foul call.
Well, he's got to kind of expect that sometimes in the America East on the road.
Little contact there, but not enough to warrant a foul call. Black Bears come out empty on that one. They get it to Lutete. It's a dangerous pass, but they get it to Christian. And then another foul will be called. This one on the Black Bears, and Lutete at the line. That one is up and good.
The free throw line.
Especially not Lutete, who's 9th in free throw percentage. He puts both in, and now they have the lead once more. Now the Black Bears trying to retake it again. It's been back and forth. 5 lead changes. Score's been tied twice. Steamer with the ball, 10 seconds on the shot clock. This one's going to be poked away. Steamer tries to save it, will do so. They got to get the shot off. Fleming, good pump fake, drives in, the up and under, it will roll down through.
Wow, that was a switch of the hands in the mid-air. Going to shoot that with his left, switch it to his right.
3:20 on the clock, 35-34, Maine on top. And another foul will be called, this one on the Bears once more.
Yeah.
Shot does not go through, and a rare miss for the Riverhawks. This one goes down through. We touched on it before. Their field.
Well, it's interesting. Number 11, Lowell, who just shot those, is actually one of the lower free throw percentages on the team at 67.
Hey, 50%'s not too shabby, at least on those 2 attempts. Now Darwich, the lob in, gets it to Fleming, can't get it to drop, but Larson puts it up and cleans the table.
That was a good high-low pass.
Now Darwich, the lob in, gets it to Fleming, can't get it to drop, but Larson puts it up and cleans the table.
That was a good high-low pass down on that offensive board by Larson.
Maine back on top by 2. Barron down in his coaching stance. I think that's the three-point stance, Sandy. Cross-court pass, three-point shot out on its way, it's missed. Lutete with a rebound, and the putback is good.
Yeah, right now Maine is struggling with understanding.
I think that's the three-point stance, Sandy. Cross-court pass, three-point shot out on its way, it's missed. Lutete with a rebound, and the putback is good.
Yeah, right now Maine is struggling with understanding who is floating on that baseline, whether it's defending them or boxing them out. They've got to be aware of that low man from Umass Lowell, on the baseline.
2:28 left on the clock. That one goes down. That one goes down through for Steamer. See if the Riverhawks can try to chip away. It's a three-point attempt to take the lead, and that one's right down through. Josh Gantz with the try limit. Ilyomade with the ball, being guarded closely by his defender. Now it's a three-point shot. That one's going to be missed by Darwich. Good hustle by Fleming, but he's going to be called for a foul again by his defender. Now it's a three-point shot. That one's going to be missed by Darwich. Good hustle by Fleming, but he's going to be called for a foul again. And both teams now. Shot is up and straight through in conference play. Second shot is a little bit more adventurous, but still drops through. A little the shooter Owens. Still one possession game though. Maine trailing by 3 points. Oyamade gets it over to Larson. Trying to find a teammate, whether it be under the bucket or at the top. Well, Darwich gets it to Steamer. Now to Ilyomade. He's going to drive in. 8 on the shot clock. Pull up, stop, and that one's going to be a foul called. More contact underneath and more. That one through for Solomon. Ingo comes in. Wonder if that might change or oscillate by the time this one is said and done.
Umass Lowell, I don't think he's happy the way this first half has gone, whether it's his players doing that right there, almost a turnover, or that foul not getting called.
Well, then another foul on the other end, right down here as Ingo comes and reaches in. And probably right, he's been perfect so far, 2 for 2. Now make it 3 for 3.
It's an interesting stand back there.
Next one up, and a rare miss.
Well, it looks like he doesn't get any legs off his wrist.
2-point lead right now for the Riverhawks. Black Bears are racing in a heartbeat as Sergio Darwich. Maine back on top by 1. Here's the feed over. The dunk attempt is blocked. Ingo in the mix. I think Larson is well on top by 1. Here's the feed over. The dunk attempt is blocked. Ingo in the mix. I think Larson as well. Steamer going the other way, coast to coast, and completes the layup on the right side.
Pretty well against a bigger player.
Peters steamed ahead for the bucket. Now Lutete at the top of the key. Gets his pocket picked. Darwich going the other way. Black Bears with now Lutete at the top of the key. Gets his pocket picked. El Darwich going the other way. Black Bears with some numbers. They feed it to Steamer again. Counted and one. Peter Steamer going the line for the Old Fang. And this time completes yet another free throw. You've seen a heavy rotation of freshmen, sophomores as well. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds on the game clock. Lutete with the ball being guarded by Steamer. Drives in a little contact. Lutete swung around. Now Owens has the ball. 10 seconds on the clock. Drives in a little contact. No foul is called. Lutete for three. That one's short. 2 seconds on the clock. This is going to be a heave-ho. And that's drives in a little contact. No foul is called. Lutete for three. That one's short. 2 seconds on the clock. This is going to be a heave-ho. And that's going to be well short for Rocco. But after 20 minutes now in the book, one at the end of the day that actually does matter is the one at the second half.
True, but you've got to play well the first half to get yourself there. So again, Maine's got to be able to keep up the tempo. They've got to continue to attack. They've got to rebound. They've got to take care of the basketball. And the best they can, they've got to keep Umass Lowell off the foul line.
Umass Lowell with the first possession, the first bucket. Noel gets that one to go.
Lowell down quite well, and they've also held Lutete down. They cannot allow those two to continue to, they can't allow them to have a good second half.
By the way, looking at the fouls committed by both sides, you'd scratch your head and say, that's a lot of fouls. But for more or less, as the Black Bears get the ball over to Prijovic for a three-point shot, that one's going to be missed. Lutete with a rebound. Only one player has three fouls, and that's in the form of Josh Gantz. So relatively clean outside of that. A couple twos on both sides.
Yeah, there were 37 free throws taken in the first half, which is a large amount. But again, two very aggressive teams.
Speaking of Gantz, that one in and out.
7 free throws taken in the first half, which is a large amount. But again, two very aggressive teams.
Speaking of Gantz, that one in and out. Now El Darwich goes. That one's short. He's starting to lose his balance on that right side. That's that one in and out. Now El Darwich goes. That one's short. He's starting to lose his balance on that right side. 4-point lead. Noel going against Steamer. A little push off there. And that one's going to be an offensive foul as he just blows right over Vilgot Larson.
Wow.
And with that lack of depth that we highlighted here just a few moments ago, Noel picks up his third personal foul. He's in the contest. He can't come out really because you do have some bench players who can
go out there and compete hard and stay out of trouble and be disciplined. But this early in the first half, he's putting a lot of trust in his player.
El Darwich now to Steamer. Prijovic drives in, elbow jumper, won't go. Larson, though, puts it off the window nicely for the two. Steamer. Prijovic drives in, elbow jumper, won't go. Larson, though, puts it off the window nicely for the two.
Job of, as far as boxing out and going to the offensive boards.
Double digits now for Larson. Gantz drives in, now dishes out. Lutete thought about it. Instead, it's a cross-court pass. Noel for an open look for three. That one's going to be off the side iron. It was short on the shot. Thought about it. Instead, it's a cross-court pass. Noel for an open look for three. That one's going to be off the side iron. It was short on the shot. Now El Darwich going the other way.
And again, you saw Maine collapse way too far into the paint and having a good outside shooter on the three. He just happened to miss the shot. But again, collapsing too far away from the shooter.
El Darwich swings it to Larson. Black Bears setting up their offense, trying to feed it into Fleming. Just beyond the right block. Now Larson for three. That one's off the front. Rebound by Gantz. Still a 6-point game. Both teams scoring a bucket here in the second half of play. Gantz with the ball being guarded by Fleming. And off to Noel. He's got some speed. Prijovic, a pretty good defender for the Black Bears. Lutete for three, and that one's just almost automatic. You give him any type of space like that, he's going to bear it.
It's a good feel on the ball. Maine does not want him to be able to go off the second half.
A baker's dozen now for the grad student from Umass Lowell. Larson trying to get 12 of his own. Can't get it to go. A little too hard off the window. That one's saved by Gantz as he gets to Wither. Larson trying to get 12 of his own. Can't get it to go. A little too hard off the window. That one's saved by Gantz as he gets to Withers.
Yeah, that should have been 2 points for Maine.
Owens trying the reverse layup, then Prijovic blocks it out of bounds, and it'll be touched on the end line, and that'll be a turnover.
That should have been 2 points for Maine.
Owens trying the reverse layup, then Prijovic blocks it out of bounds, and it'll be touched on the end line, and that'll be a turnover. Well, with those 3 personal fouls, he'll get a breather. Steamer thought about the shot, being guarded by Lutete. Instead, gets it over to Prijovic. That one's going to be intercepted right into the midsection of Withers.
Yeah, unforced turnover. Maine started the game like that. Maine cannot continue to do that in the second half for sure.
Lutete, pull-up jumper. That one just a tad long. Mitchell, though, with the offensive rebound.
That in the second half for sure.
Lutete, pull-up jumper. That one just a tad long. Mitchell, though, with the offensive rebound.
That in the second half for sure.
Lutete, pull-up jumper. That one just a tad long. Mitchell, though, with the offensive rebound. Reset with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Maine can't take Mitchell lightly. He's been playing pretty well lately. At 16 points against Binghamton. He's had 7 double-digit games.
Now committed 1 team foul. Inbound pass. Gets it to Withers. Now here's a drive. The feed. Gantz cleans it up for 2.
That's a baseline floater. Go behind him for a layup.
1-point game just like that. 5 points of deficit already erased by the Riverhawks. So be a big crucial play for the Blackbears on the offensive side of things. As they feed it to one of their leaders in El Darwich. Goes in the lane. Pull-up jumper is good right through on the short jump.
Sergio's eyes. He knows that he's got a defender on him that he can take to the basket.
This one does not go down through, but Lutete on the offensive glass will get it stripped, but also fouled as he goes up the other side. This one does not go down through, but Lutete on the offensive glass will get it stripped, but also fouled as he goes up the other side. In double digits, but the man we just highlighted in El Darwich leading the way. Lutete hits the first free throw.
Everybody else down, you can still pull away with a W.
Well, maybe the Black Bear fan base in their harassment got Tete there, though he's got pretty much ice water in his veins. Does miss that free throw there. So we're back to a 2-point game. El Darwich with the ball. No cross-court pass at Steamer. Thought about it for a moment. Now Sergio with it. Pull-up jumper, and that one's going to be missed. A little bit of a calamity underneath the bucket. 3 players go down in a heap. Owens.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten the worst of the deal because I think Wright McLeish and Steamer might have landed on top of him.
Mitchell drives in, now the double team at the baseline, pops it out, finds his teammate. Withers gets it to drop down through, and we're back to 53.
Yeah, again, the cardinal sin is if you're going to trap and you're going to double up on somebody, everybody else has to form a triangle to make sure nobody else gets in the paint.
Wright McLeish takes a little too long on the 3-point shot. Gets it blocked. It's deflected off the foot of number 15, Alan Blunt. So it will stay with the Black.
Form a triangle to make sure nobody else gets in the paint.
Wright McLeish takes a little too long on the 3-point shot. Gets it blocked. It's deflected off the foot of number 15, Alan Blunt. So it will stay with the Black.
Umass Lowell 24, Maine 24. And they've also gone up by 1 rebound as far as out-rebounding Maine.
Oko for 3 from the corner, and the Bears just like that up.
Yeah, and again, another player that's really not their shot. I believe Precious Oko is 14%, 4 for 27 from the 3-point. But hey, if he starts to get hot.
Oh, the Black Bears playing some good defense, but leaving Ron Mitchell wide open underneath the basket, and that's an easy. We're back to a tight 1-point game once more.
Yeah, and that's the danger of trapping and doubling up out as far as they did. That's going to pull your defense up, and there's going to be somebody underneath that basket if you're not careful.
Fleming gets it, but commits the travel. Steps here called, and it's going the other way.
Scoring like Mass Lowell can.
56-55 is the score. 13:44 on the clock. Blunt swings it around. Lutete thought about it for a second. Instead it goes back around. Here's this one. It's going to be blocked. Black Bears come out with it. Steamer quickly out to Oka. Instead it goes back around. Here's this one. It's going to be blocked. Black Bears come out with it. Steamer quickly out to Oka. Oko drives in, some contact, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Almost looked like Owens was falling. Well, nonetheless, it's going the other way. Riverhawks a chance once more to take the lead as Lutete has it, foul line extended. Now to Blunt. They swing it around the perimeter. Mitchell now drives in. Lutete for 3. Got it again. Christian Lutete heating up here in the second half. 2 point.
He's frame at that particular time of Maine's defense. They had 4 players almost on the other side of the lane, opposite from the shooter. So again, Maine just has got to be able to know where those shooters are behind him.
Good save from Fleming. The three-pointer in and out. Steamer can't get it to drop, and another rebound by the
opposite from the shooter. So again, Maine just has got to be able to know where those shooters are behind him.
Good save from Fleming. The three-pointer in and out. Steamer can't get it to drop, and another rebound by the Riverhawks. This is the definition of a seesaw battle. Fans calling for a travel. A whistle not being blown by the officials. This one a drive in and an offensive foul going the other way. This time it'll be called on Jordan Owens.
If the officiating, I'm not saying it has, but if the officiating gets inconsistent, this could become a very physical game.
Larson swings it. They try to get it into Fleming. Again, the Black Bears passing underneath has not been as crisp as they had hoped.
3 unforced turnovers, 3 trips down.
Umass Lowell still on top. Noel back in the contest with those 3 personal fouls, and that's that new rule with a second touch is going to.
Was when they called the foul.
Misha Godin back in the contest. Mitchell feeds it in. Blunt being guarded by Fleming. 12 minutes and change left on the clock. Now Lutete trying to get some space. They'll find Blunt. He'll drive in the center of the lane, finding underneath for an easy 2. Actually more contested, but Noel his team up by 4 points.
It's again a Umass Lowell player sneaking in behind that defense.
Perimeter defense by Maine's been good as Godin for 3. Got it! Back to a 1-point game just like that. 60-50 by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah, and Misha that's what Misha can give to this Maine team is 3-point shots.
Just going back to the point, is this one back at the top of the key. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Oko's going to be careful not to get the foul. Black Bear perimeter defense has been really sharp, but they've been susceptible to that pass underneath. Mitchell skying and gets it over Andrew Fleming off the window and in.
7 double-digit games in the last 10.
So we're back to a 3-point game. Still 1-possession ball game here at the Cross Center. One of the better battles here all season long. Beautiful feed, finding Vilgot Larson is El Darwich.
Great assist by Sergio, but also a good hold off and pin, and then released from his defensive player by Larson.
Little fake. Now Noel spinning, trying to find his teammate underneath and Withers, but instead it's Andrew Fleming who comes out with it.
Who will be disciplined on offense. When they get the other team committing a turnover, that should be a score for them every time.
Fleming hands it off. Godin pump fakes. And he's going to drive in on Withers. The pull-up jumper mid-range is no good. Rebound still loose. It's on the floor. Noel comes out with it, though, to Mitchell. Godin pump fakes. And he's going to drive in on Withers. The pull-up jumper mid-range is no good. Rebound still loose. It's on the floor. Noel comes out with it, though, to Mitchell. Oh, what an effort. Andrew Fleming, the senior, just diving, throwing his body with.
But they've lost the points in the paint. Most of those coming from sneaky backdoor cuts and Maine not knowing where those players are.
3 players in double digits for the Riverhawks now, in Gantz, Lutete, and Noel. For the Black Bears, they have 2, 16 for El Darwich, and 12 for Vilgot Larson. Now Lutete for 3, got it again. 20 points now for Christian Lutete.
Well, when you have players like Lutete, you know that if they have a struggling first half, which he did a little bit, those kind of players are going to just take the game over in the second half if you're not careful defensively.
Oh, the lob pass into the alley-oop slam dunk from Andrew.
He sure does, but that was a great pass. Larson looks like he's hurt a rib a little bit. Looks like he might have gotten poked on that cut.
This one taken away. Black Bears down by 2, 9-10.
Larson looks like he's hurt a rib a little bit. Looks like he might have gotten poked on that cut.
This one taken away. Black Bears down by 2, 9-10 remaining in the contest. El Darwich to Oko for 3, got it! Black Bears retake the lead. Let's see how the Riverhawks retaliate, or if they can, on this possession. 15% is Precious Oko from beyond the arc, but 2 for 2 tonight when it's mattered the most. This one, Andrew Fleming trying to steal it. Instead, they got some numbers. Obadiah Noel for 3, and that one is good.
Again, good ball movement. Maine's defense sagging inside again.
This has been a fun one from the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. Back to a 2-point advantage for the Riverhawks. Well, the Black Bears answer back now. 13 on the shot clock. Yagodin for three. Just missing long. Rebound is going to be battled for and won by Lutete going against his teammate Mitchell. 13 on the shot clock. Yagodin for three. Just missing long. Rebound is going to be battled for and won by Lutete going against his teammate Mitchell. Well, with a stutter step, two Black Bears guarding him. Cross-court pass. Lutete gathers himself for three. That one a narrow miss. Rebound out to Oko, and a foul will be called. Trying to get the loop. Well, with a stutter step, two Black Bears guarding him. Cross-court pass. Lutete gathers himself for three. That one a narrow miss. Rebound out to Oko, and a foul will be called. Trying to get the loose ball, and Alan Blunt will be called.
He's not that great a three-point shooter, but he's 1 for 3 today and giving them quality minutes defensively.
Got to be encouraging for the Black Bears, shooting 7 for 19 from beyond the arc, though miscommunication there.
16 to 14 because they've been playing some pretty tough D, but see if Lowell scores here.
Good passing, they swing it around. Noel for three, got it. That's a big bucket for Obadiah. Had the time in the space to bury the trifecta.
And as you see with pretty good players, the go-to players are the ones that are getting scores here.
Good hustle play for Eldarwich and stick to this.
With pretty good players, the go-to players are the ones that are getting scores here.
Good hustle play for Eldarwich and stick to this.
He's just so good around the basket. It's only a one-possession game here.
Was the largest lead of the contest for the Riverhawks, up to 5 points, but now back down to 3. Here's the drive in. Mitchell goes up. It's blocked, or at least deflected and altered, but then right there to clean up the mess is Connery. Here's the drive in. Mitchell goes up. It's blocked, or at least deflected and altered, but then right there to clean up the mess is Connor Point. Actually, 5-point game again.
Yeah, Yagodin was standing there. He was left standing there, not boxing out his man. It was an easy layup.
Now the pass. Yagodin with it. Trying to find Larson. Instead, they get it up to the top of the key to Fleming. Darwich being guarded by Mitchell. He'll drive in, pull-up jumper. That's a tad too long. Lutete with the rebound.
Maine can't start taking bad shots. They've got to maintain their discipline.
6:20 on the clock. And almost a steal from Fleming. Still a loose ball. Deflected last touch by the Riverhawks. So it'll be Maine.
And play all year as a team defense. They've left a few people open by collapsing too tight.
Yeah.
But aggressively going after the ball, they're playing very physical and aggressive defense.
It's weird to say that as they've already allowed 73 points with 6 minutes to play, but it has been a pretty good defensive day for the Bears nonetheless.
Well, it's also against the '1 scoring team in the conference. So
Precious with his third three-pointer hit. He's 3 for 3 now from long range. Oh, two toes on the line. I beg your pardon. Now the drive in. Two players collide in. That one's up and through. Another very good free throw shooter for this Riverhawks side. Buries both of them. Now it's
5.5 minutes left. Plenty of time.
Oko with the ball. Black Bears no need to panic yet, but don't want to get this game out of hand too much more. This is the largest deficit they've met all game long. They feed it to Eldarwich. Now Fleming with it. He finds Oko. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Going against Lutete. He drives in. That one a little errant. Oyumade gets it up, and right before the buzzer gets the 2.
And that's exactly what.
Shot clock. Going against Lutete. He drives in. That one a little errant. Oyumade gets it up, and right before the buzzer gets the 2.
And that's exactly what.
Coach Barron had some doubt whether or not Oyumade would even be able to play for the Black Bears in this 2019-20 season, but he came in a couple of games ago and now playing some nice minutes for the Bears. This one missed. Prijovic gets undercut underneath as Mitchell just came right there. And it just went straight up, and then underneath came Mitchell. That'll be the 4th foul on the Riverhawks. Maine has committed 5. Here's the pass in. Eldarwich! One motion gets it to go and gets
one of the best off-the-glass shooters. And that's a lost art, I think, in this game.
Funny how said many alley-oop to Andrew Fleming this season.
Well, they're both seniors, and I'm sure that they've played together a few times and understand each other.
Oh, good passing. Obadiah Noel, though, having some troubles underneath. Feeds it over to the streaking Withers, who gets it to Klanghound down through for two. Back with a 2.775 with just over 4 minutes to play. Maine looking to answer back. Oko, who's had a pretty good game. 3 for 3 from beyond the arc for 9 total points. And that'll be a foul. And Coach Duquette for the Riverhawks is beside him to get out. Leave home a little early. Black Bears have to inbound the ball. Only one player with 4 fouls, however, which is a little surprising. It's been a good spread of the personal fouls.
Well, again, I think it's consistent with playing such a really good, hard team defense on both sides.
A little bit of contact underneath. No fouls called this time around. It still looks like in a little bit of pain here. His hands in his head.
Yeah.
Can't imagine he'll be back in the contest here. Black Bears defending here. Withers with the ball, trying to beat his man. He gets a little pull-up jumper, won't go. Good box out by Lutete, puts it up. Upset at himself for not being up. Bears defending here. Withers with the ball, trying to beat his man. He gets a little pull-up jumper, won't go. Good box out by Lutete, puts it up. Upset at himself for not being right down through for Christian Lutete. And there it goes.
Plenty more right now.
13 different lead changes, and the score's been tied 13 times as well. Again, when you talk about seesaw battles, this is it. Three-pointer, and that one is good for Sergio Eldarwich with the...
Where he is just a clutch player.
Well, back to a one-point game. Good thing for Lutete bearing those 2 free throws. Otherwise, Maine would be tied or having the lead right now. Black Bears will commit the foul before the drive-in or during. Lutete burying the first, which means the second will. And this one buried again by Lutete. I think now it's their highest of conference play. Gave up 73 to Stony Brook. 76 to Albany last time out. Already 81 to the Riverhawks, and we still have just a little under 3 to play.
And it didn't take Lutete very long to get to his average.
I know. Impressive. This one's stripped, but it's also going to be a foul. Mitchell underneath. And he misses it. Rebounds battle. Gantz wins. Antoms gave chase. Andrew Fleming struggling from the stripe today, 0 for 2 now.
Yeah, it looks like he's pulling out of his shot a little bit too soon.
Lutete being guarded by Prijovic. They're forcing him to the right side. He'll go that way. Now feeds it over. Noel, double team. Then it's deflected back. 7 on the shot clock. Mitchell with the ball. And it's taken away. Now it's loose ball. Black Bears come out with it. Antoms goes down to the floorboards. Now it's reset though.
Antoms gives Maine an opportunity to tie it up with the 3.
2 minutes remaining in this contest as we have gone back and forth throughout the game. Prijovic being guarded closely by Lutete. A three-pointer. Fleming buries it to tie the game. Oh my goodness. That's it.
I've seen that so many times from Andrew Fleming.
He likes that shot just beyond NBA 3 range from the top of the key.
It's a new ball game now with 1:39 left. Tie ball game.
Appropriate. What a spin move from Obadiah Noel right in the lane and gets the 2 to retake.
Shot.
What a game we have had. 84 seconds left on the clock. Eldarwich to Fleming. Now the defense comes out a little further on him. Now the three-point shot, and that one is it. Black Bears back on top. Yes. And another depth.
Perfect. The seniors are taking the leadership role that they should in a game like this with Eldarwich and Fleming.
Now a three-pointer answer back. It's missed, and a rebounding foul, and that one's going to go on Prijovic for the Black Bears.
Yes, with Eldarwich and Fleming.
Now a three-pointer answer back. It's missed, and a rebounding foul, and that one's going to go on Prijovic for the Black Bears. Stony Brook, though, has looked like a very difficult team. A rare miss for Lutete, so the icing does work.
Maybe a dribble attack the basket, try to get to the free throw line. A disciplined shot.
Coach Berry emptying out the lane, and that works off to perfection. The feed from Eldarwich to Fleming for 2.
Maine's got to play smart here. I would say they match up and do not sag like they've been sagging and leave a three-point shooter open.
Noel, count and one. A chance to tie at the stripe. A little bit of contact. Last shot for the win.
Well, I think you do. I think it will look the score.
For that final shot as now the full court pressure comes on.
Yeah, I don't know how many timeouts Maine has. Ooh.
They have one left. Black Bears still in the backcourt. They get it to El Darwich, and the pressure is now going to go back to the front court.
Yeah, again, I realized, I figured that UMass would only do containment, but now they've got to put up a little bit of pressure here. It's a tie ball game. Maine's got to make sure they don't give any time left on the clock for UMass Lowell to score. They also have to make sure they don't pick up a charge.
6 seconds. The drive in. El Darwich can't get it to go. Antoms can't either. 2 seconds on the clock. The shot from half. No, the whistle will
score. They also have to make sure they don't pick up a charge.
6 seconds. The drive in. El Darwich can't get it to go. Antoms can't either. 2 seconds on the clock. The shot from half. No, the whistle will
score. They also have to make sure they don't pick up a charge.
6 seconds. The drive in. El Darwich can't get it to go. Antoms can't either. 2 seconds on the clock. The shot from half. No, the whistle. 6 seconds. The drive in. El Darwich can't get it to go. Antoms can't either. 2 seconds on the clock. The shot from half. No, the whistle before that. Double dribble, so a half a second left.
Who's 6'7" on El Darwich. A little bit taller player.
Here's the inbound. They get it to Fleming. Spots up. And that one is going to be long. I don't think it was off in time anyway.
It's 5 minutes. We'll see who can come up with the win.
Remember watching that UMBC game versus the Riverhawks, and boy, oh boy, they looked very sharp in that overtime session. Didn't really give the Retrievers any room to breathe. Black Bears forcing in underneath. Flush down home from Nick Antoms, who rocks the rim for
game of these last 4.5 minutes from him.
88-86, just like that. Obadiah Noel. Now being guarded by two Black Bears. They work it in. Withers finds the streaking Lutete. He's blocked by the rim. Second chance is up and good. And it's tied up again at 88. Now being guarded by two Black Bears. They work it in. Withers finds the streaking Lutete. He's blocked by the rim. Second chance is up and good. And it's tied up again at 88.
I think this is a 4-minute span where Maine could maybe back off the trapping a little bit and just play straight up man.
Foul on the floor, called on UMass Lowell.
Points.
Antoms misses. Knocked out of bounds. They're going to give the Black Bears the ball. Previch might have gotten lucky. From our angle, looked like he went off his fingertips, but nonetheless. El Darwich for three. That one's missed. Mix Antoms trying to be an animal underneath. That one's knocked out of bounds, but it'll be said to be last touch. Four players in double digits, led by the 24 points from Christian Lutete. Takes the ball over to Mitchell. They try to get across court. They will so to Obadiah Noel. Barely kept the dribble alive. Now that's going to be Mitchell, and he buries the three-pointer to give his side net cushion.
Yeah, and again, UMass Lowell is getting wide open looks. I just think that Maine's got to stop trapping and just play straight up man.
Previch with the ball. He can knock down a tray. If you give him the space instead, he'll drive in. Over Oko. He'll now drive in the lane, gets it stripped away. Loose ball, last touch by the Riverhawks. Mitchell and I believe will come in for Previch now. Black Bears with 11 seconds in which to work on the shot clock. Fleming rather with it, looking for El Darwich. 4 seconds on the clock. Fleming drives in, won't get it off in time. And let's see, is it shot clock violation? Still a three-point lead after the Mitchell three-point basket last attempt by the Riverhawks on offense. Obadiah Noel gets a screen. Oko on him. 15 seconds. Now Mitchell drives in. Over to Withers. Barely saves it in. Now Noel trying to find to Mitchell. Can't get it as it hangs up. Black Bears with some numbers. 3-on-1. Now Noel trying to find to Mitchell. Can't get it as it hangs up. Black Bears with some numbers. 3-on-1. To Oko, nifty move, and he gets it for two, back to a one-point game.
Yeah, and I think down hard.
Hands on his knees right now.
A little surprised that nobody over there on the bench is recognized.
Almost seems like he's going at half speed compared to what we're used to seeing from him. Black Bears with a double team on Mitchell, gets it over to Withers. 10 seconds on the shot clock. There's a travel called. Almost a hesitation whistle there. It's just a brief.
Act like that on the sideline.
Very animated today.
Yeah, very animated, and it makes them look bad. So
2:13 left on the overtime session number 1. Are we destined for a second? And then a whistle called. It's a bobble. Officials are looking at Coach Duquette, though, with a keen eye. Steamer gets the inbound, being guarded by Lutete. Now to Darwich, open three-point look, a little fadeaway, and he gets it to go. Black Bears on top by 2, 93.
Basket crunch time over there on that side for 2 or 3 games.
The Black Bears now have their most points as well of the season. That'll be a foul before the bucket line. On the contest, he's 3 for 4 from the stripe, but will miss that shot. So the Black Bears, no matter what.
Now Maine has a couple of players out on the floor that struggle a little bit with being disciplined on the court. Look for a good percentage shot here.
Almost taken away. Good job by Mitchell poking it. Black Bears on top by 2 after both were missed by Obadiah Noel. Darwich drives in. They're going to say no shot. Foul before it. Second free throw. Shot is up. Quick trigger.
Yeah, he's an 80% free throw shot.
Possession game. And it goes down through. It was an adventure, but it's somehow through.
Yeah, Maine's got to be smart here. They've got to know where the three-point shooters are.
Lutete for a deep 3.
And that's one of them.
And that's what a big-time shot for Christian Lutete. Back to.
But again, they've got to get a good shot here and make it, because it'll be leaving a little bit too much time on the clock for Mass Lowell to score.
Fleming, 17 seconds on the shot clock. Looking for Darwich. We'll get it over to him finally for the screen. Now into Antoms. Antoms to Oko. Thought about the 3. He'll drive in, beats his defender, and blew past Mitchell for the 2 points and back to it.
A little afraid the official was going to blow his whistle on that. He did a good ball fake, and it almost looked like he traveled, but.
Noel drives in, pull-up jumper, no foul called. That one doesn't go through. Still battled about. Steamer gets the rebound, and then he's knocked over. I think that's going to be called. Noel drives in, pull-up jumper, no foul called. That one doesn't go through. Still battled about. Steamer gets the rebound, and then he's knocked over. I think that's going to be called on Mitchell, which would be his 5th personal foul. And the free throw is missed.
A little tight on his follow-through. He helps.
It's Umass Lowell if this is missed. But it's not. And now in comes Jashante right in. Owens gets the ball and finally picks it up right over the half-court line. He drives in, the dish out. Noel for 3. Got a little contact. Nothing is called. Rebound to Darwich. He's going to dribble the ball in the backcourt and then is finally fouled. He drives in, the dish out. Noel for 3. Got a little contact. Nothing is called. Rebound to Darwich. He's going to dribble the ball in the backcourt and then is finally fouled. And 2 free throws coming to the Black Bears can get the 2 free throws. First one is up, but they get to triple digits.
Darwich, but also 2 to the players coming off the bench.
And there is that triple. It's up by 6 points. Owens drives from the top of the key, knocks it off his foot. It's loose ball. It stays with Umass Lowell. Shot clock is off. 22.8
point here. So Maine's got. I would belly up on every player. Don't try to sag. Don't try to. Make sure you know where everybody is.
Lutete, the contested 3, just narrowly missing it. Darwich with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled.
Make sure you know where everybody is.
Lutete, the contested 3, just narrowly missing it. Darwich with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled. Only a foul on Obadiah. And there it is. Sergio Darwich clutch from. Another one down through. Best for Sergio Darwich. He bested his prior mark by 9 points. And then a foul. Oh my goodness. Count it and 1. A chance. Oh, the fans starting to get loud. Free throw is good. It looked like Steamer was going to slam it home. Throw is good. It looked like Steamer was going to slam it home. Now comes the inbound pass. They get it to Darwich, and it's bumped immediately. But they're going to say it was not a foul left. Lakers do want to get it to a good free throw shooter. They get it to Oko. Lowell calling for the jump ball, which would. Oko's shot is up, and it's now a 3-possession game. Contest, you have to imagine at this point.
It's good clutch shooting by Precious Oko. Alone.
Noel spots up for 3 again. This time it's short. Oko with the rebound, and time will expire. Black Bears. Noel spots up for three again. This time it's short. Oko with a rebound, and time will expire. Black Bears pick up their first conference victory of the 2020 conference slate as they move to 1-3